Hey guys, this is John, and I'm joined by
Greg.
Hey guys, welcome to the Because Maybe podcast official YouTube channel and the debut episode of Because Maybe right here, right now.
I think I was supposed to say and Greg, and I was just late to the party on that one. My bad, but I is here.
He is here. The point of this, I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago on the extra episode that I did on the main podcast, that this is going to be like a no-frills discussion about just some crap that's going on here and now. I don't want to say no edits and it's raw, because that makes it sound like so much cooler than than it could be.
Yeah.
But today we decided to get together and we were going to talk about the greatest video game of all time.
The Legend of Zelda. Legend of Zelda Modern. Yes, Skyrim.
Yes, that's right. The oh my god. I don't know how to describe it. It's like we all know what it is, right? We all know it's one of those hyper fantasy role-playing, Dungeons and Dragons wannabe, Lord of the Rings rip-offy kind of thing. But man, it's a freaking great game.
It is, and there's a lot of reasons why it's a great game. One of them being the amount of content in it.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's not as big as like say Oblivion or some of the other ones as far as like the map. But Skyrim's one of those games where, I remember the first time that I played it, like the first time that I came out of Helgen Keep and I wandered down to the Guardian Stones. I just remember just being so overwhelmed by like the topography, and the nature and just the realism of it and the way it flowed. It was really smooth and just well mapped and just one of those games, man. And it's not like a game like Super Mario where everything's kind of like you're going down the same path over and over again. You can kind of be your own person and do whatever the heck you want. And I think that's the best part of it.
And that's the thing too. Every enemy is the way they built it was so good. They built it in a way that every enemy is different, but is the same.
Right.
You don't know if you're getting an archer, a two-handed, a one-handed, a mage.
And then it's always level appropriate for the most part.
Yes.
Like rewards, enemies, quests there's certain, you don't even realize it, but there's certain quests that you don't even qualify for until you hit a certain level.
Yeah.
Like they won't even approach you about the Dragonborn DLC until you're like what, level 30?
I think so.
Level 15 or
I think so. No, that's the Dawnguard.
Whatever it is. There's always something new. Like I remember getting up to the higher up levels, like 80 and above, and all these like the Ebony Warrior and all these cool things would pop up and be like, whoa, I thought I was done.
I remember, yesterday I was watching YouTuber you put me on to, Slack.
Oh, Major Slack, man. He's the best.
I'm going to put a link for him in the description. Great YouTuber. He was going through the Dawnguard DLC, and he was showing you how to get exploding arrows, like, the minute you walk in there, and I'm thinking, okay. And then, like, he went on this whole thing of, like, this area that I didn't even know existed.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, and I've been playing the game on and off. Well, I say on and off. I've been playing the game since 2013.
Yeah.
It's the replay value on it is so good.
No game can touch it on replay value unless it's like a tournament fighter game.
Yeah.
Where it's not really outcome based. It's more just defeat your opponent, move on to the next one.
Yeah. Well, what about sports simulators? They pretty much end up samey after a while.
Yeah, some of the bigger titles I think are especially bad about that, like Madden.
Yeah, FIFA definitely.
And excuse me. I know part of it's a cash grab, and part of it's the demand and then the limitations of current technology. But by and large, as someone that's bought every Madden game since like 1998, ever since about 2013 or 14, it hasn't really changed. And speaking of riding on coattails, Bethesda's done their share of that by re-releasing Skyrim over and over again on
on everything.
The VR, and it's on Switch now. Yeah, it's just. But
and I get why they're doing it, because it's the next generation of consoles and everything like that. But if they'd have just made the time to make the Elder Scrolls 6,
sure.
Look, Todd Howard is the patron saint of this particular game series. We all know this. Any gamers do, and. He said, well, we're not that far in development of this game, but here it is. Well, they've already got the soundtrack recorded. Or at least the main theme soundtrack. That's one of the last things you do
That's because that's advertising, marketing
Yeah.
stuff, yeah.
I
Well,
mean, so I think that it's closer than what people think, which means they've been working on it in secret for a few years.
sure.
The non-disclosure agreements on those things must have been so airtight that even Houdini couldn't escape from it.
Yeah. But yeah, that replay value, though, I think the Bethesda knew about the replay value, and that's why they keep, re-releasing it. But I remember people complaining when they re-released the Legendary Edition for PC, PS4, the first, because I don't think, was the original Elder Scrolls on Xbox at all? Like any version, the 360 or?
The first one I think was Morrowind on the original Xbox and the PS2.
Okay.
I think.
So, but
Don't hold me on that one.
But Elder Scrolls 5 though wasn't really on Xbox One, 360
No,
or X360.
It was Morrowind was on Xbox. Oblivion and Skyrim were on PC, PS3, Xbox 360.
Okay, so this was, the first time that you saw a multi-platform release from Bethesda for one game.
Yeah,
at least for Skyrim, and that was pretty big. And then the community mods, the Creation Club.
Oh yeah,
absolutely huge. Being able to install mods on a console was really cool for me as someone who's not quite at gaming PC level yet.
I used to play with a lot of mods. I did. I like, I've spoken to you about it before. I loved realistic mods.
Like the survival, campfire.
Yeah, the campfire, the frostfall. I liked logic mods like...
Haste. Haste is a logic mod. I told you about that one.
Yeah, you told me about Haste.
Yeah.
One of the mods that I had was called Beehives. I think I mentioned this to you before.
Yeah, with the metery.
Yeah, it just adds 5 beehives to the game. Outside the metery.
Which makes sense.
It does nothing else for gameplay. All it is just you look at it. Another mod was called the courier service. Basically, it added a building where all the couriers would hang out. It was post office.
So what happens if you're awaiting a message and you walk in there, it's like 18 dudes was, I've been looking for it.
Right. No, I
you.
think the way it is you could say to not have delivery service and actually go to the
post office.
Yes, like the post office. You go up and you check your deposit box, and it's like, oh yes, I've been looking for you. Here's your note from Calcelmo. Here's your letter from a friend, and oh yeah, by the way, here's Final's inheritance to you.
And the Aldari Dominion says I'm eligible to win 4,000 septims in a giveaway.
All I have to do is renounce Talos.
All I have to do is send in the head of Saida, and I'm good to go.
Right. So when you played, right? Let's get to the nitty gritty of the game. When you played, let's start from right at the very, very beginning. You've created your character, you've jumped through the building, and you've told, let's get inside Helgen Keep. I know you've only had a handful of walkthroughs and everything like that. Who do you follow? Are you an Imperial or are you a Stormcloak?
I've followed both before. Under the advice of Slack, I follow Rayloff simply because the loot. There's more loot and better loot, and simply for that, no allegiances, no sides being taken. Despite from the fact that I normally do side with the Stormcloaks.
Really?
Well, and that's without any like thought process or discriminations. That's more or less like the Empire is like the big bad daddy trying to pull down the common man.
Trying to give his son a spanking, basically.
Yeah, and I've always been a fan of the underdog. I remember when the Rams played the Patriots in the Super Bowl long time ago, 17, 18 years ago or whatever it was. Everybody was like, I don't know who these Patriots team are. I've never heard of them, but they're going to blow, the Rams are going to blow them right out of the water.
Yeah.
Tom Brady is overrated. He's blah, 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 blah. And wow. So for me, rooting for the underdog has always been a big thing. But if I can just touch on that for a second, I think one of the biggest problems I have with the Stormcloak faction is that it's basically a mirror image of the Empire. When I think of rebels, I think of like a ragtag group who are thrown together weapons. I expected the Stormcloaks to have more of a personage and sort of a look similar to that of the Forsworn, that's
a great shout.
Who sort of they have the look, that very tribal look, a very unique and ragtag kind of put together look.
To look more Nordic rather than just a bunch of town guards.
Right, but I mean, there's no way that a rebel faction is going to be able to have 10,000 matching Stormcloak cuirasses made.
Yeah.
I just don't buy that.
I don't buy that.
The Empire, they have the resources, they have the slaves, they have whatever. But Stormcloaks, no. One guy'd be in bandit armor, another dude be in Daedric. You know, that's what it. To me, that's what was disappointing about that faction.
It's more mercenary rather than military, for lack of a better term.
Sure.
Not mercenary, militia. Excuse me.
Or a hired thug, hired gun, whatever you want to call it.
I used to go Empire all the time. Because it's the Brit inside me, I guess. I don't know, but the conquering the world thing still flows through my veins.
Sure.
But I now don't even do the Civil War. Because there is so much flawed on both factions. I wish there was a third option where you could wipe both of them out. Because you've got lack of religious freedom with the Empire. But you've got bigotry and inequality with the Stormcloaks.
Yeah, no thanks.
I mean, if you look back in the history, in the lore, it said that Ulfric Stormcloak, was it the Markarth incident?
Yeah.
Where he went in 20 years before the game started and took over the city from the Forsworn, as they were at the time, and then executed anybody who didn't fight with him. Man, woman, child, elderly, etc., etc., etc. And that shows the mark of a real stand-up, crackerjack guy, in my opinion.
Well, they're both. I mean, it's just like real world politics. Both sides are garbage.
Both sides are absolute garbage.
Just you pick the one you hate the least. And in this case, like I said, it was a non-partisan judgment.
No.
I mean, in the beginning, I literally based it on, okay, these guys are supposed to be the little guys, and their name's pretty cool, and I like their uniforms.
That's true.
So let's go. I had, you know.
One of the things I love about the online Skyrim community is the logic behind joining the Stormcloaks. And the logic for saving Parthenx. And what I mean by that is, I'm joining the Stormcloaks because the Imperials tried to kill me at the beginning of the game.
And that's another
good
reason. That would be another. That's a good reason.
But
too.
so did Alduin. I'll kill all Imperials because they tried to kill me. Well, why won't you kill all dragons? Oh, spoiler.
Right. Well, I mean, Parthenx is much more than a dragon. I mean,
no, he is.
And honestly, like, I was conflicted about the Parthenx dilemma. Spoiler alert! If you get far enough in the game, there is a time where the blades they basically say you're with us or against us, and what they mean by that is if you're with us, you'll go and kill Parthenx because he was, you know, Alduin's right hand man in the first era or whenever it was that he originally appeared, right? So.
It's like Goebbels becoming the master of peace.
Yeah.
And the anti-Nazi League saying you have to kill him.
So in this case, like now that I know that I've logged an embarrassing amount of time with Skyrim.
Yeah.
Really, once Parthenx shows you how to get the Dragon Ren shout, double spoiler alert, and triple spoiler alert, teaches you the word wall shouts.
He's not.
He's of no use to you at all. The only thing that he's good for beyond that point is to being good with the Greybeards. But once you get
all the shouts, they're done.
If you've done the Civil War quest line and you've gotten the Whirlwind Sprint and the first and last word, I think it is, of Unrelenting Force. Yeah. I can't remember if they give you the first. I can't remember if they give you the third.
Second and third.
Yeah. But once that's over with, once that's over, I mean, other than like some free loot in their place,
it's not worth it.
I mean, I wouldn't even say that. I would say it's inert. It offers literally nothing to you. So I mean,
and plus, see, this is the thing. You are the last Dragonborn. The character is. Excuse me 1 second. You're the last Dragonborn. It's said in the Skyrim lore that only a Dragonborn can kill all the dragons, and Parthenx says himself, "I'm good for the moment." You know, he's like, is it better to overcome your... Is it better to be born good or overcome your evil through training?
Right.
And he's right on the one hand, but on the other hand, he also said that the power still burns deep inside me.
Yeah.
So if you don't kill Parthenx and you die, eventually the dragons will start killing everyone again. That's common sense.
So there's some finality to it. I think that's kind of the sprinkles on top of the cake.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that Bethesda did a really good job of. weaving in morals and decisions that would
Definitely.
fall, ethical decisions, because you'll actually face that several times throughout the game.
And it determines what kind of character you play, because I mean, if you're a
Right.
moralistic character, you follow your morals. If you're just killing everybody to kill everybody, then it doesn't really matter, you know.
Well, it shapes your gameplay too, the
Exactly.
decisions you make as well. I mean, literally, okay, perfect example. When you start the Dark Brotherhood
Yeah.
quest line, okay, there's a lot of different ways that you can get introduced to it. The traditional way would be to, when you're in Windhelm, you overhear a woman and a little boy talking about Aventus Arentino, who's a resident of Windhelm. There's all these rumors and speculation going around that he's summoning the Dark Brotherhood because apparently someone had heard or seen of it,
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera. So if you pick the lock into his house and go in there and talk to him, he assumes that you're a Dark Brotherhood assassin and asks you to assassinate his old orphanage head or whatever, the lady that runs the
Grella
orphanage.
the Kind.
Grella the Kind,
She's not kind at all.
the most ironic name in the game, next to
Grimsir the Unlucky.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or Lydia the Not Standing Doorways.
Yeah. Well, so you're basically tasked to kill her, and in doing so, once you complete it, the next time you sleep, you're abducted by the Dark Brotherhood
Yep.
and locked in the. Okay, if you've ever been, I believe it's right near Morthal,
Yeah, it's right. It's
the abandoned shack.
It's right, like at the center between. It's quick. It's just as quick to go to Solitude as it is to Morthal, but it's right there.
Okay, so I think it's near. Like if you were, say you're in Riverwood and you headed towards the Guardian Stones, I
Yeah.
think it's west of that. I cannot remember without a map in front of me. But when you get there, you're basically put in an ethical dilemma. You're locked in this house, and you've got to either, you stole a contract from the Dark Brotherhood, so you've either got to kill somebody for them, or, and I didn't even know this until earlier today, you can kill Astrid,
Oh yeah.
take her key, and then it starts another mission
To
where
just-
you
to
destroy
wipe
the
them out.
I did not even know that until
Oh, yeah.
literally like a couple hours ago.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. That was one of the first. No, I didn't know. I just thought the first time I played, it's like, you kidnapped me. Oh, you're gonna die.
Yeah,
You know.
right.
And I didn't realize that at that point. It's like, oh, by the way, you can't do the Dark Brotherhood quest line. But then again, if you are a certain kind of character in that game, you don't necessarily want to do the Dark Brotherhood quest line.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the great things about the role-playing aspect of it, is your character can be anything you want to. And if you want to moral yourself as a good character,
Sure.
you're not going to join a band of assassins or a band of thieves.
You'd be more like companions, something with a little
Yeah.
more honor. You
Now,
know.
that's something that Bethesda didn't do with the Thieves Guild. They didn't do it with the Companions, and they didn't do it with the College of Windhold, but they did do it with the Dark Brotherhood.
What's that?
If you start the quest line and don't want to join them, you have the opportunity to eliminate them.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You can't do that with the Thieves Guild, which...
Well, the Dark Brother is probably the most sinister of them all, though.
True.
I mean, they're taking lives. I mean, I know all sins are equal, quote unquote. But,
Yeah.
I mean, killing somebody's got to be worse than
True.
pickpocketing them.
But remember, everybody in Riften goes, you know what? If I had 5 good men, I could march onto the rapway and flush them out, and they're right. You know.
Yeah.
But you don't have that option. The College of Winter. I'm not saying destroy the College of Winterhold, but there's a lot of resentment to it in the game from the people of Winterhold. I'm surprised they haven't been up there with torches and pitchforks yet.
Because of that whole debacle with the half of
Collapse,
the town being
yeah.
wiped out. Yeah.
But the Companions is the curious one, because if you want to be a moral character and you don't want to be an abomination, you don't want to be a werewolf, but you have to be a werewolf to be this part of the Companions.
Well, to get into the Underforge.
Exactly.
You don't have to stay one.
So you meet the
Spoiler alert.
you meet the Silver Hand, right? We're full of spoilers. You meet the Silver Hand, right?
Right.
There's no opportunity to join them.
And see, yeah, I wondered about that, because there's other factions in the game as well. Same thing, Forsworn.
Yeah, you can't join the Forsworn.
If you're an orc, you can't join an orc
The
stronghold.
strongholds.
You should be able to come bloodkin like easily.
You can't join the Dominion.
You can't Thalmor.
Yep, you can't.
Well, I know that's like an upper echelon
Yeah.
type of thing, but I mean, it's wood elves, high elves that.
You can't. The only ones you have a choice in doing is the Dark Brotherhood and the Vampires.
Yeah, I would love to see a little more volition later on.
And maybe it was because of time constraints. Fair enough. Maybe it would
Right.
cost more to put those things in there. But that's something that, I'd like to see in Elder Scrolls 6 is more variety. Everything has 3 options. You do Perth A, which is one side, Perth B, which is another side, or Perth C, which is your own thing.
Or Sweden. You go,
yeah.
There's
There's
Switzerland, go neutral.
There's the right way, the wrong way, and the Norwegian way, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, I didn't like the Companions quest line.
I thought they were a little flat, and I thought it was probably the least rewarding out of all the faction
definitely.
quests. And you know, the other thing too, they're we fight to the death with honor and prowess and blah blah, and it's talking all, you know, saying all the right stuff, but then it's like, hey, you need to go here and rough this guy up.
Yeah.
You tell him that the companions are no joke and blah 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 blah. It's like you guys just sound like a bunch of
bullies,
puffy shirt bullies.
It's a bunch of mercenaries for hire, and the quest line itself is weak.
And I hate being a werewolf.
Being a werewolf sucks. It's the worst mechanics in the game.
And then having to go get the Glenmore witch heads, and I mean that coven is just brutal.
You go through one dungeon, one cave, and then one crypt, and that's the entirety of the Companion's quest line.
And then concurrently, to go back, you're saying about the Silver Hand.
Yeah.
And that first, when you first, yet again, another companion spoiler alert. When you first interact in your first companion's quest, you I can't remember who it is, but you have an escort mission.
Yeah.
And then I can't remember his name. Farkas, yeah. He you get trapped in like this cage sort of thing. Like it's like a little cutout that has a door, like a wrought iron door in it.
It would have been a prison back in the day.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, look what you've done yourself, blah 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 blah. And then he all these Silverhand roll up, and then he reveals to himself that he's a werewolf. Yeah, that could have been the turning point right there.
You either chop Farkas' head off
and
take it to the Silver Hand.
Defeat the Silver Hand or defeat Farkas.
And then you join the Silver Hand and you wipe out the companions, and that's the whole point of the quest line.
Well, you still get the third option though. Either way,
yeah.
So let's say,
you go Farkas. I did not want to be a werewolf. I can't do this. Peace.
Right, like you can kill Farkas, and then the Silver Hand can be like, oh, hey, that's great. We need more people like you to kill werewolves. You want to join our cause? And you can be like, nah, man. You know what? I just saw that and it freaked me out, and I killed him.
Yeah.
Because I feared for my life, and I saw that you guys were fearing for your life too, so I took him out. But look, I don't want to be a part of that, and I don't want to be a werewolf. That being the third option.
Yeah, it's like
that could have been the turning point for it.
I took care of it for you. Thank you. See you later.
And then they just go, okay, well, we appreciate your service, and they give you 100 gold. And...
We appreciate your service, but if we see you again, you are dead.
Right.
Kind of thing, know. But the companion storyline was weak. The characters in the companion storyline were weak too. I mean, basically, one of them was a brain-dead warrior. I love Farkas to death, but damn, he's stupid.
Oh, yeah, he's all muscle.
Skjor talked like the big badass he was until he decided to go run into a freaking bandit hive by himself.
Yeah.
Oh, look at Ayla. She's a pain in the ass. I don't like her. Never have.
I like Ayla. I think she was either my wife or my steward in one of my walkthroughs.
Oh, I married her in one of my walkthroughs, and she is the most complaining pain in the rear end as a wife ever.
You know the best wife in the game that I've had?
Lydia.
No. God, no.
Ysolda.
I had, Muiri.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but the only thing that bugs me is that every time I approach her house, she's like, thank you for fixing my little problem. I was like,
we don't have to talk about that.
That was like 40 years ago in real time, dude.
Well, here's the thing, too. The way they do the marriages, it's based on... Okay, Ayla the Huntress as a character, Ayla the Huntress as a wife is awful because of her voice type. There's two voice types that hate every house that you move into and hate the children that you raise.
Right.
And that's the Ayla the Huntress's voice, so which is Uthgerd the Unbridled and a couple of other people.
But like Lydia, Muiri...
Yeah, the Ysolda, Muiri voices.
Oh, what was the other one? The harlot that lives in Riverwood.
Camilla.
Camilla
Valerius.
Camilla Valerius.
Well, you know what, I've done this many, many times. I've married Camilla, and whoever I did the favor quest for her, at the Final Sven, I've made them my steward.
Oh, it's like ancient times friend zone, like friend zone once removed. Jeez, dude.
I mean,
Wow.
I'm a big mage character. I love the college quest line.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, you just complained about the companions quest not having any depth. The mage quest line does have depth. You've got no escort missions for a start.
You have meetup missions.
You have meetup missions.
Yeah.
The Dwarven Ruin. See, in the companions, there's nothing there that tests your weakness, right? So, for example, in the Thieves Guild, the one of the quests is you've got to follow a dude in a warehouse. Oh, that sounds exciting. But you're a thief. You have to stay out of sight, out of mind. You have to sneak, and it tests your limit. Tests your limit on sneaking. In the Dark Brotherhood, you have to go through a Dwarven Ruin, or you have to assassinate somebody in public twice.
Yeah.
And have to get away with it. In the college questline, the Mages Guild, you have to go into a Dwarven Ruin. All Dwarven people are resistant to magic. In the warrior quests, you didn't fight any mages, which is the direct opposite of a warrior.
The antithesis of a warrior, the weakness. Yeah.
You didn't get to put up your weakness. You just basically you fought sentient beings the whole time.
Yeah.
And it didn't. But I love the college quest line. One of the quests was too long in proportion to where it was in the quest line.
Was it that first one where you meet at the you meet Tolfdir at the?
No, it's the second one where you go to the keep and try and save the guy who stole the books.
Oh yeah.
That keep is so big, like it's bigger than Castle Dower.
I would say, is it bigger than Blackreach? Because I
No.
don't think there's much bigger than Blackreach.
No, Blackreach. Oh my god.
Blackreach is like the size of the entire map. I
Yeah.
swear, dude.
It's evil.
I've gone down in Asfalund or whatever, up there north. Spent a couple hours in the ruins. Found an elevator back at the top. I'm in Riften.
Yeah.
Like, I literally went 3/4 of the way across the map. I mean, it's crazy.
I think we've been interrupted. We'll be interrupted here in a minute. Never mind. But it was I love the Mage quest line. I think the best quest line is the Thieves Guild quest line.
Yeah, that's probably the most rewarding.
It's definitely the most rewarding
And
for
most
loot.
and it not to back up too much, but I feel like that one offered the most to the main quest line, whereas I feel like the companions, like, it was just like seasoning.
Yeah.
Like, it was just, or like an extra side. It's like, oh, they gave us green beans too. Great. Like, but this like,
This is like a pork chop on top of your steak already.
yeah, but like the Thieves Guild, like the Stones of Berenzia quest. After you complete the Crown of Berenzia, you get a fat bonus.
I've got thousands of gems just stored in a box that I can't do anything with. The thing I loved about the Thieves Guild quest, I think, is the one that grows your character the most. And what I mean by that is,
You're going to be doing sneaking, you're going to be lockpicking, you're going to be doing using illusion spells, alteration.
you do everything. Whereas
Except kill. They frown on killing.
When I did the Companions quest line, I didn't feel worthy enough to be the leader. When I did the college, I didn't feel worthy enough to be Archmage. Even though we've got a new Archmage.
Got a new Archmage on our hands. Senile Scribbles.
Senile Scribbles,
If
y'all.
you've never seen it, you have to watch it.
That's also going to be in the description.
Some coarse language, but so don't watch it with the highly religious aunt in the room or the kids, but it's really, really, really funny.
It is really funny.
It's highly quotable. I think I drop at least one reference a day at the office from it.
At least.
Was the
Murder time.
in Bang Zoom, we got a new Archmage on our hands.
That's right.
or
Bang
whatever.
Zoom. Love that phrase. But that was the only question I felt like I grew. I felt worthy of being the leader of the Thieves Guild because I'd done all this work that showed I was more than just your average thief. Whereas with the Companions, I was still just chopping the same people.
Sure.
And
then like, there was the residual perks of being the Archmage. The job is entirely perks.
you get a room.
You get
a decent set of armor.
And a regenerating alchemy garden.
Yep.
Also a regenerating alchemy shelf,
Yeah.
soul gem table. So yeah,
There are some good perks.
You don't like Kodlak didn't have this like bitchin',
No.
like warrior room with like Daedric armor. No, he just had like a bed. Like it's exactly the same what you had.
It didn't even that's the thing. Every group had their unique armor and a second set of unique armor for when you reach the upper echelons, except the companions.
Yeah.
They didn't have reinforced Skyforged steel. They didn't have hardened wolf armor.
And they had the only guy in town that could make, or in the whole land that could make it.
And he's wearing fur armor or hide armor or something like that. And it's like that's just
May the gods watch over your battles, my friend. Yeah, Skyrim, where every Nord is Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm going to land with the High King of Skyrim.
They know that. So did you kill Lydia?
Let's see. On my first walkthrough, no. She was my house Carl for Whiterun, obviously. And out of pure ignorance, I married her because I didn't understand how the Amulet of Mara worked, and she was the first. So I just kind of went with that. I don't think she's awful, but in later walkthroughs, I did pawn her off to the Blades.
I sometimes do that.
I'll just take her up there and be like, boom, there you go, do your thing.
I love Lydia, man. I love Lydia, I love Faendal, and I love Janessa. Those are my... Whenever I was playing a mod playthrough, when I had like a follower mod on, those would be my three. And maybe I'd swap up Faendal for Marcurio.
There's that... Yeah, I like... Even though Marcurio's a pain in the butt, and kind of has bad attitude, if you have like some expert robes and some good spells and like, Mordecai or some cool magic enchantment, if you throw that on him, yeah, he's badass.
Jizargo too.
Jizargo.
That's not what it says here.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you guys got to watch that.
Senile
Scribbles. But no, I don't think I've ever. Well, actually, I did kill her. I think it was the third walkthrough I did when I did my dark elf mage build that's still on my PS3 that I have not completed the main quest line. I had her follow me up to her High Hrothgar, and then I did the unrelenting foreshout on her and just blasted her off into the atmosphere.
I did that.
Surprisingly satisfying.
I did the unrelenting force, waited 15 seconds, fast traveled, and she showed up next to me without a mark on her. Yes, my theme?
Wow. She is your sword and shield.
She always stands in my way. Well, every follower stands in your way. Oh, she's just so... she's sworn to carry my burdens. Well, yeah, if I met you for the first time as your personal assistant, the first thing that said, here, carry this, I'm going to be, oh, okay. This is what I got myself. All right.
That's why I like that guy. I can never remember his name.
Benno.
What was it? What was it again?
No, not Benno. Belrand.
Belrand, yeah.
Benno's the dude from Morthal. I'm the best warrior Morthal until you beat him, and then he dies quickly.
Yeah. Okay. I was thinking. Some reason I was thinking of the cannibal in when you get to not Windhelm.
Markarth.
Yeah, Markarth. When you walk in and that murder's happening,
yeah.
The guy that runs that booth right there was at the Feast of Namir or whatever.
Bloodiest beef in the Reach.
Yeah, it makes sense now.
Makes sense now. Ugh. I always killed him because cannibalism was just too far even for me.
Yeah.
It's like, dude. Did you use any other followers? What was...
I like the Spectral Assassin. I would summon him a lot.
Yes. Except he doesn't shut up and says the same thing.
Yeah, he babbles incoherently forever. But lately, in my new mage build, I've been using the Sanguine Rose, which is kind of a follower in a way. You summon a Dremora Lord for like a minute or whatever it is.
I told you before, my wife is playing Fallout 3. And she's got a following there called Forks, which is a super mutant that has a laser gun. And is voiced by the same guy, voiced by Wes Johnson. Great voice actor. And, he does the same thing whenever he gets into battle. He's like, I hear something! Come on out! Just all this thing. And without realizing it, like, I'm talking to myself as I'm playing, trying to talk my way through my strategy. And it's like, okay, so I got my sword in one hand. Okay, summon Forks. And I was like, what do you mean Forks? And then I summoned him. It's like, I hear a challenger. Roar! You know.
Challenger is near.
So now I've nicknamed the Dremora Folks every time because of the Fallout character.
Oh, okay. Yeah, even I don't even play Fallout, and I know that one.
But one of the things I love about this game, we talked about the replay value and everything like that earlier. Unlike other RPGs of the era, you weren't locked into a specific class for the whole game. Now, they did tweak the stats of all the races so that, it would be beneficial for you to do this. Right. So if you're a Khajiit, it's not beneficial for you to be a mage, but you can be sneaky. And if you want to be a mage, you can overcome it within 15 levels.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I love. Like the other night, I actually bought the Creation Club. I bought the Creation Club, and which is basically paid mods.
Yeah, authorized mods.
Authorized, but I call that DLC. I think that's legitimate DLC.
Like a mini one, yeah.
Because you've got add-ons like Dawnguard and Dragonborn. I think those are more add-ons or expansions in the traditional sense.
It's more, yeah. It's like getting a Mario game with extra levels in it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I got the creation stuff, and using Slack's advice, I'm gonna go through Helgen. I'm gonna play with a two-handed, heavy armor Nord. It's gonna be great.
Tank it up.
So I got into the first room, and I'm hacking away with the axe, and the damage bar is going, not even moving. So it's like, okay, wait, I saw him use flames. So I start using flames, and I start using flames, and I start using flames. And when I got out of Helgen, I was a one-handed mage with heavy armor instead of a two-handed tank. It's like, oh.
Well, and that's another beautiful thing about it. My original build, I went sneaky archer because I think that fascinated me the most, and I knew that without a firm grasp of leveling, potion making, alchemy, that I was going to have to revert to very covert style of playing.
Yeah.
So I basically snuck everywhere. I crawled from town to town, between tree to tree, and my character was a Nord.
Oh.
Which
not the best for sneaking.
No,
at the beginning of the game.
Not necessarily. The reason I picked it was because of the cold resistance.
Yeah.
And I knew there was going to be a lot of cold in Skyrim. But later on, as my player became over leveled as an archer, I found myself branching into one-handed, two-handed, and I created sort of like a hybrid character, like a guy that could use magic to help himself. He's good with the sword. He's good with the archery.
Jack of all trades.
Yeah, he was really good at archery, but he could kind of do a little bit of everything too. So that's the other thing I like. You could build your character as an archer all the way up to level 100.
And then branch off.
And then go mage, and then go one-handed, and then go thief, and then go whatever,
I think the appeal of Mage for me was I can't play the game in third person that well. And I can't play a warrior in first person.
Yeah, I
haven't been able to do it. I was never able to do it because the shield takes up half the screen. But if you're swinging an axe and you got 6 people around you,
covers up the whole screen.
It covers up your whole screen and you don't have any AoE spells. Whereas with an archer, they're dead before they get to you.
Yeah.
And with a mage, obviously, all you got to do is spin around and you've burnt everybody.
Well, depending on the spell, but yeah.
But with warrior, it's just like right in front of you. And to do that, you have to play in third person.
And it's kind of tunnel vision in a way.
Yeah.
First person.
So I decided, do I want to be an archer or do I want to be a mage? And I tried playing a mage. I can play it now. I can play as a mage now. I just found, at the time, it was tedious.
Yeah, it's a different, especially in the beginning, it's a different style of gameplay because, like, you don't have any, like, a pure mage, you don't have any armor or weapons.
No.
I mean, sure, there's hybrid mages where, like, I've seen people, like, elven armor with, like, destruction enchantments, with alteration enchantments,
But you don't get that unless you loot the crap out of everything.
Yeah, but so in the beginning, as a mage, it's really hard because, like you've said a million times, I'm walking around Tamriel in a bathrobe.
Yeah. You're wearing a bathrobe with a glow around you.
Yeah, so, and not to mention, there is literally nothing in the game that levels slower than destruction.
Yeah, definitely.
There's literally nothing that levels slower than that.
That's why I always like up until level 50, I'm paying for skill.
Yeah, I typically avoid all the destruction skill books as I find them. I avoid them. I make a note of where they are, and then once I have trouble leveling, I'll go back and pop. Also, I wait until I can get the there's a perk in the, well, not a perk, but an ability that you get in the, I believe it's the Dragonborn DLC.
For one of the black books?
Yeah, you where I think it's like ancient knowledge or something. Every time you read a skill book,
it gives
get
you 2 skills.
2 points instead of 1.
Yeah.
Which is very, very helpful, especially in the higher levels, like when you hit the 80s and 90s and you're trying to...
And see, that's one of the things too. I don't go to the island until I'm at least level 30. Because the island is set for like level 25 up to level 20. And you got to give yourself a little bit of grace period because those beasts are tough, man.
I don't even face Mirak or any of those people until I've got Dragon Rend. I really don't do a whole lot until I've got Dragon Rend, honestly. Yeah. I like to knock that main quest line out and then just go have fun and just whoop ass, you know.
The other day I started a new character, which was an illusion archer.
It's interesting. Like cast Fury on them?
Cast Fury on them, cast Calm or whatever.
And just pick them off.
But as a backup, I wanted the Bound Bow and the Bound Dagger. And because I played modded Skyrim for so long, I forgot that the Bound Dagger is on the island. So I went to the island at level 4. And I had it all in my head. I'm going to swim around all the danger. And I did. I made it to the Mushroom House. Made it to Telmithrin. And I thought, yes, I went in. Got through all that. Yes, I got out. It's like, okay, I just got to beat this Ash Guardian. Not a
Ash
problem.
Guardian just breathed on you and you died.
I'm dead. And at this point I'm going, do I go back? Or do I do the classic, I know, I'll reset to Novice and try and beat him. I ended up using like all of my potions.
Yeah.
And I had to cast the Bound Bow 3 times because this guy would not go down. Faendal almost died twice going through it. It's like, okay, chalk that one down to experience. Yeah. Let's get back to Skyrim, put it back on Master, and let's never speak of this again.
Yeah, no, I know you've for those who caught it earlier, John mentioned Major Slack, a walkthrough YouTuber that does a variety of platforms and variety of games, not just Skyrim. He does Far Cry, Fallout,
and and his style of walkthrough I like too because he like plays it off camera, makes notes,
he does
and
practice
shows you
runs.
exactly how to do it, as opposed to, hey, I'm going to be blindly doing the College of Winterhold quest and then dying every 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's very calculated, very organized. It's a full-time job for him.
Yep.
So I mean, but the whole point of that being, this is one of the reasons, and I know you've mentioned this before, why and the higher levels, like when you go, master and above, master, expert, legendary, whatever it is, that doing a little bit of business in the beginning is so important. And I know for a lot of people it's like, blah, blah, blah. But you can't really succeed in Skyrim without doing some business of some sort, whether it be legitimate or going through a fence or bartering. At some point you're going to have to. So Slack will literally go and spend the first 15 levels, like building his speechcraft, putting perk points and
alchemy,
into speech, alchemy, enchanting. He'll go find a turn undead dagger, disenchant it.
He'll have level 15 archery, but like the strongest archery enchantment on all of his gear,
right? Because
the strongest archery potions. And then he shoots 2 arrows, and because of the way archery levels up, he shoots 2 arrows, they hit their target, he's up to level 23.
Yeah,
straight away like that.
And the other thing too I love about Slack, he doesn't rely on game modifying mods. Like he uses game enhancing mods, like the enhanced map.
The map, yeah.
But he doesn't use like, make every dragon a choo-choo train. Like stuff that doesn't change it.
Macho Man Randy Savage.
And I like that because it's something that any, even if it's a console player or a PC player or someone that wants mods, can't do mods, they can still do it.
Yeah, it's basically...
And you can use the mods the same way, too. Yeah. You can do the same approach with the mods.
One of the guys, and we're talking to YouTube Skyrimers right now, there's a pair of Irish brothers called Bro Duel, who who basically, that entire channel is dedicated to Skyrim mods, all Bethesda mods, basically, Skyrim, Fallout, so on and so forth.
Right.
And... they have a spotlight where they do things. They say the only mods that they show when they test out a mod, the only mods that they have are graphical mods, and then the actual mod that they are testing is the only one that they use, or they'll use something like, say they were doing a review on Campfire. Well, they'd also put Frostfall on there and review them both at the same time, but the main focus is on the Campfire mod.
Sure.
I love mods, so to speak, but I can never get beyond level 20 before I either see a new one that I want, or one of them starts crashing. And I've dumped the mods and I'm going straight through the Creation Club because not because mods are bad. Like I said, I love mods, but they've been created by, say, you or I, but they've been developed and enhanced by Bethesda to work hand in hand. Yeah.
Bugs worked out, as much bugs as you can work out for a Bethesda title. Let's be real here, but...
Did you see, there's a picture going around of a plant that somebody gave the Bethesda office as a structure.
Yeah, it's like going through the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all right. We have been rabbiting for about 46, 47 minutes. I'm going to ask a couple more questions. And it's kind of not based around mods, but based around some of the things that Skyrim has brought out through things. There's a mod called the Cutting Room Floor, which surprisingly does exactly what it says on the tin. All the cut content that it had. Like, they cut an entire village out the game.
Really?
There's every hold has the main city, and every hold has at least one town or village, with the exception of Winterhold.
Like Whiterun has Riverwood,
Rorikstead. You have Dragonbridge, Colthwiston.
Was that Heraldon? Whatever it is. Yeah.
Old Heraldon. Yeah.
Old right. Yeah.
Khan's Grove, that kind of thing.
Right.
Well, there was supposed to be one where where you see that inn in the middle of nowhere. There was supposed to be a whole town built around there. And they cut it for time constraints. It's still in the game files, but they cut the implementation, which I don't understand. Every college professor has a quest that they cut out. So, in fact, one of them, the remnants of the quest made it onto the game. Hey, you said something about missing apprentices? Oh, yes, the group before y'all showed up. But in the Cutting Room Floor mod, they actually filled in the blanks and made the quest active.
You had to go out and...
Yeah. Tolfdir lost more than his alembic. He lost his books. He'd send you on to catch fugitives, rogue wizards.
And now it's just get his alembic and pick up and deliver stuff that's been enchanted.
Yeah, it's just... That I think is what I'm looking forward to the Elder Scrolls 6. Hopefully that the success of 5, the success of Skyrim, has seen that what they can do and what it was lacking and what they can put in. Because otherwise, people are going to revolt against it. Especially because some people don't like ESO.
Me kind of being one of them. I mean, it's not that I don't like it.
It's just different.
It's just so different from Skyrim, and I was really hoping for multiplayer Skyrim online. And I know that might be unreasonable, but I mean, Skyrim is just so good the way it is, in my opinion. That
definitely.
I was hoping that it was going to be... And it's still good. It's just...
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I do like ESO. I do. I'd play it more, but I don't have internet in my bedroom as well as I'd like to.
Yeah.
Because I'm on Wi-Fi, and you can't play an MMO on Wi-Fi.
It's hard to stream 1080p and not have any lag on Wi-Fi.
Definitely. All right, so I think we will call this a wrap for episode 1 of Right Here, Right Now. Me and Greg, me and Sarah, me and whoever, will be back at another time. Maybe next week, maybe next month, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. These things will happen when they happen.
It'll happen right here, right now.
Right here, right now. Do you know what I mean? Okay. Greg, thanks for joining me, man.
Absolutely.
And you will be joining us at some point in the actual in the actual podcast stuff when we do review of Nevermind by Nirvana. But until then, it's good to see you. Everybody have a great day, and we'll see you, well, I guess when we see you.
Mahalo.
Mahalo.